What a game. What a game. What did we just watch? It was a, this is a game that you couldn't write. Like even if you wanted to be dramatic, I don't know if you could write something like this. From the start of the game, I mean, it didn't start off looking like it's going to be a chaotic game, especially for Mallorca, but it did start off, both teams were a little bit, a little bit slow to start with. But Mallorca looked like they wanted to take the game to Barcelona. But then Barcelona decided we're just going to control this game. We're not going to rush it. We're going to play our own tempo. There's no need to rush. It's still the first, few minutes. Let's take it easy. Let's find control. Let's control the tempo, control the play, have controlled pressing, nothing too, extreme. We weren't pressing. It's not the typical Barcelona pressing. Everything was like they were preserving energy for the whole game. That's what it seemed like from the beginning. But then you had the Yamal on the right, typical Yamal. One second you see him, the other second you don't see him. He's gone. I mean, we'll talk about Yamal throughout the whole game, but the first few minutes, Yamal was terrorizing defenders. And then the problem with Yamal terrorizing defenders are so attracted and to him that they forget that there's other players that they need to worry about. And the fact that Yamal's got like 3 players on him, dribbling past him, he gets across into the box, and guess who's open? No one miking him. Raphinha. And Raphinha he's an interesting player because his position always seems like he's playing as a left winger, but he always finds himself in a striker position. And this is something that I guess teams haven't really figured out because they're so worried about Yamal and they forget that Raphinha always cuts in and plays as a second striker. And Yamal finds him, header, goal, 1-0, 7 minutes in. And I'm thinking, and I was so happy. I was very happy. Don't get me. I was so happy. I was like, here we go. Let's get another one. Let's get another one. And it wasn't too like rushed. Everything was, like I said, control play, control possession, control pressing. Everything was just like calm, collected. And then there's a point where Yamal is dribbling past players. He takes a shot on, and Mallorca defender puts his head down and he hits him right in the top of the head, which is the worst place to get hit in the head, especially with the ball coming at you 100 miles an hour. He goes down, he faints, and then the ref, I guess, kind of wanted to stop the play because obviously there's a player down injured. Mallorca players they're screaming. They're not happy. But Ferran Torres tried to pull Yamal through. He gets blocked. He gets it back, takes a shot. And while he's taking the shot, the ref had the whistle in his mouth, about to blow, but he didn't blow the whistle. And I feel for Mallorca because if I was a player in that moment and my player is down and I see the ref about to blow, but then I'm not too focused too much on what Ferran is about to do, but at the same time, he plays with the whistle. You can't blame Ferran for taking the shot because his instinct is to shoot and his instinct is to win, to play. Unless the referee blows the whistle, then why should I stop? So it's Mallorca's fault for stopping and not realizing that the game is still going. But then again, the ref, he made it seem like he was about to blow the whistle before Ferran took the shot. But anyways, second goal goes in. Everyone's confused. I'm confused. The whole world's confused. So what's going on? Is it a goal? Is it not? And I'm fuming. I'm like, that should be a goal because obviously, it's not our fault the player's down. But at the same time, hey, it is what it is. They give a goal. I'm surprised. The celebration wasn't even like, anything extravagant because everyone was confused. We celebrate the goal, typically high fives. We go start again. And this is like 24 minutes in or 25 minutes in. And literally a few minutes later, Yamal terrorizing defenders again. And I think the same guy that got a yellow card for tackling Yamal got another yellow card, got sent off. And I was confused. I was like, oh, is it yellow card. Because I forgot he had a yellow card at this point. So he gets another yellow card, gets sent off, and it's 11 versus 10. And then another play goes on. I think his Mallorca goes through. The ball is coming towards Juan Garcia, but he gets off his line, runs towards like obviously the 18-yard box. He can't grab the ball, so he has to like clear it somehow. Goes for the head. Mallorca striker puts his leg up, gets Garcia in the face, and I'm saying this is definitely a red card. But they give him a yellow, and I'm surprised. I'm like, how is that on a red card? That's a red card any time of the day. And long behold, they call the ref to the monitor. He checks. It's a red. Mallorca, 2 men down at this point, 39 minutes in, and I'm thinking, this is going to be a score fest. We're going to score at least 5 goals in this game because there's no way Mallorca is going to try to attack. There's no way Mallorca can keep us out with less men on the field now. So we should definitely win this game with more than 5 goals. And then, since that red card, Barca went quiet. It seemed like Mallorca were the one that actually taking charge and actually wanted to do something in the game. But then, and I'm thinking maybe we're just taking it slow because obviously we're winning 2-0. There's no need for us to be rushing anymore. Let's take it easy. And literally the last second of the kick in the first half, guess what Raphinha does? I know maybe it's a mistake, maybe it's not, but he takes Mallorca's players' legs off. And I'm thinking this is going to be a red. Surely this is going to be a red. Even if the ref doesn't give a red, they're going to have to ask him to come check it because it looks so bad. And Raphinha gets a yellow. The whistle blows, second half is over. And we go into the second half, into the half, like halftime. And I'm thinking, Flick, please take Raphinha off because any foul he commits from now on, he's getting a yellow. Because referees are going to be talking in that dressing room and saying, probably should have given Raphinha a red there, but a yellow was, deserved, but a red card was questionable. And I'm thinking, please take him off. But he doesn't take him off. Raphinha comes back out. Guess who comes off? Fermin Lopez comes off. Olmo comes in. To be fair, Fermin Lopez was having a very quiet day. But I feel like he had more to offer. Olmo didn't really do much when he came on, to be honest. He didn't really do anything better than what Fermin Lopez did. But yeah, the surprise was Fermin Lopez coming off instead of Raphinha. But then I was like, okay, cool. Game goes on. Boring second half. Nothing to really talk about. And I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? We're playing with 2 men extra on the field and we can't even break Mallorca down. They're looking like the better team right now compared to Barcelona. And I'm thinking, how are we gonna compete in the next game when we can't even compete against a team with 9 men? But game goes on and I'm getting frustrated and I'm thinking, please bring Rashford on. Bring fresh legs on at least so they can actually, because sometimes when you bring fresh legs on, they want to prove themselves. Therefore, they play with more intensity and more desire than the players that are already on. Game goes on. It starts to get boring. I'm getting frustrated. Let's get a third goal because you never know. 2-goal lead is never safe in this day and age. But I think it was around maybe the 60-something minutes, 68 minutes. They make 3 changes. Joffrey comes on. Gavi comes on and Rashford comes on. Balde, Kubasi surprisingly came off. And then Rashford came in for Ferran Torres. They didn't really do anything. To be honest, they did not change anything. I mean, Gavi had a good game. There was nothing really to say. He did have an assist in the end, which we'll talk about. But then game goes on. Nothing really substantial, nothing to talk about. And I'm thinking this second half for Barca have become a little bit questionable. But then again, Yamal is doing his typical dribbling, losing the ball, crossing, nothing is coming off. taking the shot when it's not on, passing, getting blocked. Like everything was not coming off for Yamal. And I'm thinking, since Yamal's assist to Raphinha, he hasn't really done too much, and he's having a stinker of a game. There's not really much for me to talk about Yamal. He's having a below average game for his standards. So was a lot of players as well, by the way. Raphinha had a decent game. He scored. Ferran Torres, decent game. The back line didn't, there was not really much to say, but it wasn't too much for me to be like, I'm impressed with Barca. But then the game kept going on. I think the last 10 minutes of the game is when you started to see Barca actually being hungry and wanting to score. Because like around the 85th minute, Barca starts pushing. They start, being aggressive, pressing high, making 1-2s and actually getting the balls in the box and cutting back. And we hit the post a couple of times. I'm pretty sure Raphinha hit the post before he came off. Olmo hit the post. And I'm thinking, we're knocking on the door right now. The goal is coming. The goal is coming any second now. And we just kept knocking. We kept knocking. Yamal, his typical shooting, getting blocked over the bar, wide, nothing coming off. And literally the last few minutes, and you could see the Barca wants that goal. And Yamal is getting frustrated. He's fighting with the player on the sidelines. And I'm thinking, Yamal is getting frustrated because he has nothing to show for in this game. Besides his assist, there's nothing else. But this is why the big players get paid the big bucks, because of moments like this. When you think a player is having a bad game, a stinker, they pull off something unthinkable. Unthinkable. And Yamal, I think it's Gavi that gives him the ball, but I wouldn't really give Gavi that assist, because Yamal does everything after that. I mean, I don't know what you could say. Oh, Mallorca players were tired at this point, and there were 9 men down. All this stuff. True, all that is true. But at the same time, it's still like a 94th minute. You shouldn't, be doing these remarkable things. Especially, I mean, we'll talk about his age all we want, but at this point, he's a mature player. He's 18 and he's just terrorizing players. Last minute of the game, literally the last kick of the game, Yamal dribbles past 1, 2, 3 players and sends it top left corner. And I'm like, this is why some players are called the big players, big game players. I mean, I know this is not a big game, but when you think he's having a bad game is when he surprises you, and he reminds you why he is who he is. That was incredible. I was gonna give him a 6 out of 10. After, if the game ended without him scoring or doing anything else, but literally scored the goal and he became man of the match. And I'm not even lying. Like, look at this. I think, look at this. 9.2 for Yamal. He was having a very average game until then. Ferran, 7.8. Raphinha, 8.4. Yes, I agree with that. Pedri did pretty good actually. Yeah, De Jong, average. Araujo, not too much to say. Like, the whole back line did pretty well. Garcia, actually, I like Garcia on the right. I like Garcia as a player. I feel like Garcia is going to be very crucial to Barcelona's success this season. But yeah, this is, I was going to really talk a lot of nonsense about the second half and why Barca needs to be more in control throughout the whole game. Not just the first half. I know they come out guns blazing the first half, kill the game off, and then control the game in the second half. But we need to be aware that the second half also needs to be as good as the first. We need to give 100% from first minute to the last minute. And we did, to be honest, because we scored in the 7th minute and then we scored in the 94th minute, which was the last kick of the game. So I'm very happy with the performance. I was going to say something about the second half, but now with that goal, it cancels everything out. I'm happy with the game. I'm happy with the scoreline. I predicted 3-1 before the game kicked off. And I was like, I really want a clean sheet. I would like a 3-0, but I think it's going to be 3-1. 3-0 it is. 3 points in the bag. Pack your bags. Go back home. Train. Get ready for the next game. And yeah, I'm happy with the game. It's been great. From men to boys. From down under. That's it for me. Peace.